Fulcha, from our city by the sea. Stories of whalers, surfers and sailors whisper for a century from the bars and tavern walls in our seaside slice of heaven. So how did this wandering Irish lass land on these shores, to be welcomed in so many hearts, I hear you ask? They say it takes a village to raise a child. I have a whole barrier island and 3,000 miles of ocean filled with smiles, hugs and support. This is the year I get to thank you all. I love you, Long Beach. Welcome to Long Beach 101. Tonight, I am very honoured to have on Long Beach 101 two of the wonderful ladies from the Long Beach Historical Society. I have Sue. Say hi.
Hi.
And I have the lovely Jeannie. So if you don't know already, the Long Beach Historical Society is open on the weekends and it's located at 226 West Penn Street. That is correct. I got it right?
Yes, you did.
So the first question that I'm going to ask the ladies tonight is one that, believe me, working in bars and restaurants in Long Beach, I get asked this all the time. So first question for you, Jeannie. Why are the state streets in the West End, and how come they're in that order?
Okay, well, sorry to say there is no historical answer to that. It's some New York and California, I believe, were styles of bungalows. So that's the first two streets. But the rest, I'm just going to say it was probably people who came from those states or people who I'm not sure. And there is no answer. There was a theory posited that they were named after battleships
that's what I was just
different
about to
things,
ask.
but it doesn't pan out. So sorry.
So that's it. No battleships.
It remains a mystery.
It's one of the larger Long Beach conspiracy theories on why that is.
Yes.
Also,
yes.
and I know that we probably touched with this before, the walks. Why are they missing months? We got to find this out.
They're missing months only because of the space, I would believe, because those were trucked in from, I believe, Camp Upton in somewhere out on Long Island after World War II. They were barracks, and at the walks, they were actually laid out as barracks. So that's, and there just wasn't room for no march. March Walk would have been not a good name, March Walk, and April. So I don't know. It just, those are the two that, and I don't know why those two, not November, December, were left out. But
the plot thickens. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's two big questions that I've always wanted answered, and thank you for answering them for us tonight. So the lovely Sue, I am going to ask you, who were the first inhabitants of our barrier island? I know we had some Native Americans that were there before William Reynolds became the developer, is my understanding.
Well, the first inhabitant was Davenport. You can help me with this,
Deb
Jeannie.
Wright.
Right, yeah. Rob Wright's great-grandfather. Great-great?
Great, I think.
Yeah, great-great-grandfather. And he was the first inhabitant. And then his house was destroyed from a storm. So he did not last there that long, but he was the first person to have a house. Before that, we had some Native Americans, and
we only know they were the Algonquin tribes. So, but there is some talk that the word Rockaway is a Native American word.
Okay.
And also the Maroqui tribe, where Merrick is named after, is another. Massapequas were out, further on the island. But the thing is that these tribes all fished, and not to say they lived on the island, but they were the inhabitants that populated the area.
I say. So what I want to talk about mostly is a gentleman called William Reynolds, because my understanding is that if he had not developed Long Beach with his vision, and he developed also Coney Island, I believe he spoke about, we wouldn't have
Dreamland in Coney Island. We would not have a Long Beach. There would be nobody living there, because he put landfill, I understand, 5 feet of it on the barrier island. Is that correct, Jeannie?
Yes, apparently. Well, he was the original No, first thing, there was a hotel there it was built in 1880. And it
Where was that? Where was the hotel located?
That was on, I believe, Riverside Boulevard right now. We have maps that show the exact location of it, but it burned down. It was 800 rooms.
Wow,
which
that's
seems
a lot.
to be a lot of rooms. Yes, and the fact that it was even built there, and the reason people came to it, there was a syndicate that built the Long Island Railroad. So there was a railroad, route to get there. So that's how they brought people
I understand.
there. And it burned down, and Senator Reynolds was apparently inside it when it burned. I mean, not inside, he got out, but when it burned down. And he had the vision at that point. He said, people come here now. They enjoy the ocean. They want to. It was at a time when, Victorian times were changing
So
to
what
the
year is
roaring
this?
20s. So, 1880, the hotel burned down in the early 1900s, and he came and he decided to build and sell lots, and that's how it first, was developed. And when you're talking about the elevation, he dredged the channel and actually raised the elevation of Long Beach to, some say 9 feet. I'm not exactly sure, but they have, but that's why we're able to build on a lot of the areas. And it was also laid out in grids. I think a person named William Levitt, I believe, laid it out, the grids and the streets.
Is that Levitt from Levittown? Is that the same person?
No. I think his name is Leavit, I think.
So speaking about developing of Long Beach, I've heard this story at least once a week since I came here. Did elephants... You knew I was going to ask you this question. Did the elephants build the boardwalk? Is that an urban myth in these parts?
Go ahead, Susan.
Yeah. He took the elephants from his dreamland to bring them here, and it was a publicity stunt. But they did come here. The names were Alice and, do you remember the second one?
I don't remember,
Alice
but they
the
had
elephants?
names,
Yes.
and they had their trainer was with them.
Yes, and it was just a publicity stunt, but Reynolds' vision was to build that boardwalk. That was part of his dream, and build all the houses, and he built and sold all the houses, and they were mini mansions. They were mansions. And the rich and famous, it was a playground for the rich and famous.
Okay, so you got to give me a little bit of name dropping of famous Long Beach people. I know you probably know many, so Jeannie, you can answer that one.
No, the thing is that there are a lot of names that you may not recognize now. Vernon and Irene Castle were dancers. They were very famous dancers. There was, Rudy Valley, they say, came down. Oscar Wilde, they say.
Really?
They have pictures of him there. But there were many people involved in, industry and finance and, not necessarily media celebrities or entertainment celebrities, but many of them did come. And I understand they came, on a weekend, for a week at a time, things like that. And it was a way to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city.
They didn't have air conditioning in those days, so they just opened up all the windows, and all Reynolds houses have natural air conditioning. They have windows on both sides.
Really? I didn't know that, actually. That's fascinating. Yes. So I have another question for you. Billy Crystal. He is probably our most famous Long Beacher, to my understanding, right?
He, and right now, Charlie McAvoy, who plays for the Boston Bruins.
Yes.
Okay.
Both of whom donated to the Historical Society.
Right.
Exactly where I'm going with this. The Historical Society do need your donations. Lovely ladies like Jeannie and Sue do this out of the goodness of their heart.
We're an all-volunteer organization. We do
Right.
not have any paid employees.
Wow, that's amazing. That is really amazing. And something exciting coming up over the next couple of weeks is that you now offer walking tours with the Long Beach Historical Society.
Right.
Maybe you want to tell us a bit more about that, Sue?
Okay. Well, I was in Palm Springs recently, and the Historical Society was giving walking tours. And I said, well, we've got to do that. We have so much history in Long Beach. And so, a couple of us got together and we started walking tours. Our first one is Sunday, April 2nd, and we have a second one scheduled for Saturday, May 20th, which is coinciding with the Porch Festival that the Arts Council is doing. So we're going to have music on our porch. We have a gorgeous porch.
That's amazing.
We're going to have an art reception. We have artists every month. For April 2nd, we have Scott Ferrone.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we're having, artists, come tour the museum, listen to music, go on walking tours. And everything we do is, we don't charge, but we appreciate any donations that we can get.
Absolutely. That's amazing. So to do the walking tours, they are available for people to do on the weekends. Is that correct?
Yes, if a group wanted to do one, to book, one of the volunteers would do it on, a weekday. And we have done reunion tours, and when people have their 50th reunion or 20th reunion, and they want to do a tour, we'll do that by appointment. But we have them scheduled for days in the summer.
I see that.
And,
Okay.
yeah.
So your Instagram for the Historical Society, which everybody in Long Beach should follow, absolutely, is you can tell the Instagram, Sue, if you like.
LB Historical Society.
That's LB Historical Society. Get in touch and support a really good cause.
LBNY.
LBNY Society.
Right.
Also, I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry.
I have to say something here is that we do have to say Long Beach NY, because sometimes when you go online, it comes up and it's Long Beach, California, and you think you're seeing different streets, and they don't exist.
Right.
in
Yeah,
Long
it's
Beach.
an ongoing problem.
So you have to just be aware of that. There's a Long Beach in Jersey. There's a lot of Long Beaches out there.
Right.
So.
Yes, because you think something's exciting going to happen in Long Beach, like we're getting this new store, and then you find out that it's Long Beach, California, and not
Exactly.
Long Beach, New York, which is
Yes.
where we're talking about. So, as I'm Irish, there's a big Irish connection with when I go for my morning walks on the boardwalk. I often go by the wreck of Mexico. There's a memorial for it on the boardwalk, and I'm, it's obviously going to pull on my heartstrings as an immigrant. So, Janine, tell us about the wreck of Mexico, please.
Okay, the wreck of the Mexico, and there is a marker on Lincoln Boulevard on the boardwalk, was about a ship called a bark that was grounded and it was not far off the beach, and the pilots the pilots did not come out to guide the ship into the harbor, into New York Harbor, and they let the ship just languish out there. Excuse me. It was New Year's Eve, so they were celebrating, and they didn't do their job, and so many Irish immigrants, I think it was 110 or something, were left to die. And one boat did go out, and they saved, and the captain jumped into the ship, and some of his crewmen, and they just
Which
left.
is very unusual to do that as a captain of a ship.
because they're not supposed to do that, and that's sort of a rule of mariners, courtesy, and so they left.
It was a storm.
Yeah, it was an ice storm. It was an ice storm, which is why nobody wanted to go out there to save them.
Oh God!
So and they froze, and there were many of these immigrants are buried in Lynbrook Cemetery.
Wow! And there was a couple that was frozen to death, and they were embraced, and they buried them embraced.
Wow! Yeah, I've often wondered about that. So working for the Long Beach Historical Society, I'm sure that you have favorite days of the year in Long Beach. So what is your favorite day of the year in Long Beach? And I'm going to ask you, Sue.
Oh, well, I have too many. I love to. I do not participate in the polar bear plunge, but it's something I
Why
enjoy
not?
watching.
It's fun. You should do it. Why not jump into freezing cold water in the Super Bowl Sunday? It's the greatest idea.
February.
I watch my husband do it.
Okay.
We were in Iceland, and my husband recently did it, and it's colder than Long Beach there.
Wow. Yeah. No, I try to do it every year, but usually find an excuse not to do it. So, what's your favorite day of the year, Jeannie?
My favorite day. I like the Christmas parade.
Right. It's a good
I think that's a really good time. It's just a time when everybody is doing the same thing. Well, a lot of the parades, because the Irish Day Parade is very nice. The Memorial Day Parade for the veterans is very nice, and it does bring a lot of people out, and people do participate. And also, we also have the Wounded Warriors Parade in parade July, also. Which is another wonderful thing that the residents participate in, and it really is. It brings the community together. Mm-hmm.
So the light parade is my favorite time of the year. Hands down, I absolutely love it.
The Christmas,
parade.
Yeah.
So to my understanding, after Sandy, there was no electricity on our barrier island for like a month and a half, I believe. Correct?
It was a while. Yeah, it was a few weeks. It depended on where you lived.
And you were here for Sandy?
Oh, yes.
Right, yeah.
Yes, I did not go.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast talking about how tough
it
those
is.
times were. So the light parade was a vision someone had, and I'm not too sure whose vision it was, by the way, but it was after Sandy. Just that you can tell us more about it.
Well, they started that up as a kind of a tribute to Sandy, just to cheer people up. And let's get this, light parade going and give you a reason to go out in December, which is, they're trying to do that in a lot of places, I think, just bring people out. And the merchants participate and the restaurants and bars participate.
Yes,
and it's a fun time for everybody. Yeah. And the kids can come out, and they all participate, and it's fun.
Yes, it's a blessed day. Definitely a day, being in Long Beach, people presume in the winter time it's a beach town, there's nothing happening. But it's quite the contrary. Like, there is so much happening in Long Beach at any time. Any time is a good time of the year to visit, that's for sure. And I guess
the polar bear plunge, I think, brings like 10,000 people. Wow. I cannot believe when you walk down to that beach and you see people coming, even though it's supposed to start at one particular time, 1:00, or they say, but people are coming down and jumping in the water, till 2 and 3 o'clock, and they just go in and come back out, and it really is. It's another. Everybody feels good that day. Everybody's good. Everybody is, having a good time.
Yes,
so
it's a fantastic
fun.
day. Everybody has fun, and then usually Super Bowls afterwards, right? I think this year was the year that it wasn't.
Yes, they didn't coincide it.
That's very unusual for us here in Long Beach. So once again,
I think this year they did.
No, it did.
Last year it didn't.
It did.
Last year it did not.
Okay, so I'm wrong again.
That's okay.
That's
this
embarrassing.
year,
don't say
but
that.
anyway, hi. Too late. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up with you girls. Thank you so much for coming across the bridge to Rockville Centre.
We're very happy to be here and to promote and to encourage people to come to the museum that you have. It's your museum. It's not our museum. It's your museum.
Wow.
So
and there's a lot more history and that you can learn from coming on our tours. Our April 2nd tour is booked, but we will be opening up the May 20th, and with a wait list we already have from the April 2nd. We'll be the first people on our May 20th, but
what an amazing gift to the community the Long Beach Historical Society is. I think everybody in
It
Long
is
Beach,
really a gift. I mean, you have to see it. It's just a gorgeous building.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Everyone who comes says, many people, I didn't know it was here, and this is really something. It really is quite the, quite the piece of architecture. So we're very proud of it. And I just want to quickly say that we are also having a tea on April 16th, which has been a popular event. So if you're interested, please call the museum, 432-1192, and,
That's April 16th.
April 16th.
Okay,
yes,
don't forget, April 16th, get out and come to the Long Beach Historical Society and donate, because this is very important that we have our historical society with donations.
Can I add that?
Absolutely.
We used to do the boardwalk fairs, and since Sandy,
since COVID.
Since COVID, sorry.
Yeah.
The other thing.
They closed, they stopped doing them, and they have not let us do any boardwalks. And that's where we raised our money. And, COVID really hurt us. We have a large mortgage on our house,
on the building
museum.
itself.
Right.
And we have upkeep. We
Right.
have insurance and electric and, everything else that goes with it. And we need, to raise money.
Absolutely.
And we need renovations to be done. It's an old building, and it needs a lot of work. It needs new windows that we're trying to raise money for. Yeah, it's really, we got an estimate for $140,000 for that. And, so we do need to raise a lot of money, and we're trying to do fundraisers. We have a GoFundMe page.
Okay, please tell us more about the GoFundMe page.
It can be found on our website. So you can go to the website if you would like to donate to the GoFundMe page.
Donate to the GoFundMe page, definitely, yes. It's such an honor to have you both here and doing all that they can to make sure that they have donations coming in for the Historical Society.
Yeah, or just support us by visiting our gift shop, visiting our museum. Become a member.
Yes.
There's a lot of ways you can support us.
Yes.
Okay.
And we provide a lot, we have so many things going on. We have murder mysteries. We have,
we host the fourth graders to learn their history and geography.
That's amazing.
We bring them, all of the fourth grade classes, into the museum for a tour, and that's a lot of fun. They enjoy it. So that's a
we
good
have
thing. Yeah.
craft fairs and holiday boutiques.
It's just not the Historical Society.
Right.
It's not just a museum that you have.
we have chats, and where we just had one this week about the disappearance of Hog Island. We have another one coming up about prohibition. So we do have a lot of things.
That's going to be a good one. Yeah.
Yes.
I work in bars and restaurants, so that's something very interesting to me, is about prohibition and what we did in Long Beach about that awful time in our history.
Oh, right.
I think you girls do absolutely wonderful work, and
Thank you.
I hope that the Long Beach Historical Society is nurtured the way that it should be from us Long Beach people. And thank you so much for being on Long Beach 101, Sue and Jeanne.
Thank you for having us.
An absolute
That's
pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having us.